Jake Dixon, I'm sure you know him, but if you don't, he is the British MotoGP rider, ex-British bike rider, and Sarah is his long-suffering wife. Here they are.
Long-suffering wife?
God. Listen, don't speak yet. I'm speaking first, and this is my show.
Oh, but God.
I contacted these two last night. I sent Jake a message, and I sent Sarah a message. They both answered me in exactly the same way at the same time. And I said, are you in the same room? What are you doing? So Sarah went, I've just called him. He was in a different room to ask him. I mean, honestly.
I was too busy last night. When
what
she's watching all I don't know what it is, just all the rubbish programs that she watches, I just like to go in the other room.
Where are you? How's your lockdown going?
Fantastic. It's brilliant. Loving it. It's painful. Got to put up with Sarah every day.
You can imagine how hard that is for him.
Hang on, let's just put this into perspective. Your wife, there she is. She's great fun. She's beautiful, and she's an amazing cook. What are you moaning at?
That's very true. Amazing cook. You are very right, Wave.
Actually, I'll come straight in with a question that we had in last night from Chicky McFly, who said, when Sarah's not at home, Jake, do you just get pizza?
Do I just get pizza? No, but we had this discussion the other night. She said, what did I say to you? I was moaning because she wasn't cooking something that I wanted. And she said to me, well, you know what to do. Just cook your own food. I says, well, actually, I wouldn't be too fussed with that because I could have just my pasta sauce that I like. She says, well, you know what to do. Do it for a week and see how you feel about it. And I was like, right. It'll be fine. I will generally be fine.
And what is the pasta sauce that you like so much that you could eat for weeks on end, Jake?
It's tomato sauce.
Tomato sweet pepper sauce. You know.
My Italian friend on here.
I'm not hard to please.
Sarah, how are you, my love?
I'm good. I think. Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm busy cooking actually every day, so that's pretty.
Making a mess.
Nice to do.
Making amazing food is what you meant by that code, I think, Jake. And you're putting it on Instagram, Sarah, aren't you? And so this is a special food because you guys have gone vegan, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, we did, didn't we? We went vegan in end of 2017. So
vegan power.
We kind of went vegan overnight. And then that was it.
And Jake, how did that make you feel? Did you feel any difference in terms of, because obviously you both train a lot, I know, but you know, Jake, top flight motorcycle racer. So how did it affect you physically?
Well, first of all, I came back with a training plan to Sarah, nutrition plan to Sarah. I said, oh, look, I've got this nutrition plan. She said, yeah, it's great, but it's with meat. And this is before, and I was like, oh, right. She's like, I'm not cooking 2 meals, so you're going to have to go vegan with me. I was like, oh, brilliant. So then I went there and actually really enjoyed it because I didn't eat too much meat anyway. And yeah, I think I just recover a lot better than what I did. So yeah, I think it's just all around better. You feel cleaner. You never feel like that horrible full feeling than when you eat meat. So I'm just absolutely slagging meat off right now.
It's interesting, but there was a reason, Sarah, why you went vegan in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, so I got diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017, and I've got to be honest, I went vegan because I was so scared. I was watching loads of documentaries, which is like the worst thing I could have done. And a lot of things were, especially my type of cancer, was related to meat. So I just like, you know, at that point, you just like, I need to save myself, or what, I'll do whatever I can. So I went like vegan overnight, but then as it progressed, I realized it wasn't necessarily what I was eating. It was the whole concept of like taking time out to cook and making myself feel better through the food I was cooking, and also like losing myself in the kitchen almost. So it kind of helped me really get through that whole sort of 7 months of chemo, because I was sort of doing something positive, I guess. So yeah, that's the reason why. And that's why I said when he came with that plan, I'd had my second chemo, hadn't I? And I was like, I am not cooking 2 meals, no way.
I was like, well, you're gonna have to, babes.
So that's interesting. So obviously a health reason, but also it was quite therapeutic for you, and you've carried that on, and now it's actually almost could become your profession, I think, because you're doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hobby I enjoy, but you just never know where your hobby might take you.
No,
So
honestly speaking, like you go out for meals and you go to really nice restaurants, and I always say to Sarah, why do I want to go out and spend a load of money on a nice restaurant when I can eat at home and eat your food that's 10 times better than that nice restaurant? She's like, yeah, but I want to go out and experience something nice. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to I'll just give you the 100 quid. Like, there you go. There you go.
I'm going to use that one after all this is over.
Oh, God.
You can save it. You can screen record it. I wanted to speak to you both, obviously from the motorsport thing, Jake, and I wanted to find out, you know, as a rider, how you're feeling about kind of not knowing when things are going to start again and how you're keeping in shape again. We'll get to that. But also, I do find you two really inspirational. I mean, Sarah, you just mentioned them. You talk very openly about going through cancer and the recovery. And I know you're doing a challenge at the moment as well to raise money. But Jake, you were, I don't think you mind Sarah saying it, you're a little bit older than Jake, aren't you? And I think Jake was actually incredible during that time, wasn't he?
Well, I must say, I was pretty good, wasn't I, babe?
I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, you were 22, weren't you, when you were fighting for the championship with Leon?
Yeah, 22.
22. And that year, I just we'd gone into 2018, and I was like, missed of the treatment. And for 22-year-old lads to like be having, you know, all of that pressure with the racing, as you know, is like intense next level. It was quite incredible to watch him be there for me and see obviously me at my absolute worst.
Lowest. Yeah.
And then go out and do what he did. I'm still, like, I know it sounds corny, but it just amazed me, like how you managed that.
Yeah, but it's just like anything, isn't it? In life, you get set things where they don't work out and they're not going quite to plan, and you have to just get on with it, don't you? So I think the way for me to almost deal with it was to go out and perform on the racetrack, because I knew that would make Sarah happy. So I think that was the biggest way that kept me going in that tough time. So yeah.
Well done to both of you. And then you went and got married, and all those beautiful images of you together. I think I wanted just you to talk about that, because I know it will inspire a lot of people that are listening on the Breakfast Club, because obviously we're in sort of strange times. So, you know, it's to find a way out of situations, and you two you did such an amazing job. And now you can be funny, Jake.
Now I can be let loose. Right, God, that was being hard to be serious then. God.
I know,
I
know, but I do. Yeah, but we don't see that very often, of course. No. But we, you know, I was thinking last night, you know, you're pretty steely, Jake, to have done that and to supported Sarah so beautifully while she was fighting and giving everything to get through it all. So, you know, to both of you, my hugest amount of respect for that and love. And I've been watching you on Instagram during lockdown, and you've just been cracking me up and making me laugh. And it looks like you're both making the most of it. But Jake, how are you keeping fit?
First of all, Susie, I'd appreciate if you didn't keep slipping into my DMs, because I've got a wife, all right? Yes, I've been keeping very. Yeah, well, yeah, there is that. Yeah.
Don't you start, Geordie Lodger?
I get the same one every single night. DM, the phone's pinging all the time, pinging. Like, Jesus Christ, leave us alone, woman.
She loves it. Susie, as you must know, I am in very good shape by training a lot, and I'm sure I can send you a few photos through the DM process.
No, it's all right, thanks. You can keep those to yourself.
But you've said it now, dude, so you have to stand up and take your t-shirt off.
Well, I can do that, and she'll be straight onto the phone to have a look. Why are you blushing?
How do you realise I'm really old enough to be your mum and then some, Jake.
Well, you know I like the older lady, so.
Oh, yes, sorry.
So she's dropping herself in it now.
Right. I like older men if it makes conversation move a little further forward.
With this beard.
Jake, Scuba Rich wants to know, would you, how do you feel at the moment? Would you rather be at the front in British Superbikes or doing what you're doing?
No, I like what I'm doing because I know eventually when everything clicks and everything falls into place that I'll be at the front of Moto 2. So that in my eyes is not even a question to where I want to be. BSB was a good stepping stone for me, but I feel like now I'm ready to really show what I can do on the world scene. I think you guys have not even seen half of what I'm capable of yet. But it's like anything, you have to take your time in the process and believe in what you're doing. It doesn't happen overnight, and being a Brit, coming from British tracks, British, well, superbikes mainly, it's completely different to the Grand Prix lifestyle where we travel around the world. We go to big, wide open tracks. It's a different way of riding. And obviously then you've got the Moto 2 bike that's really quite rigid and nothing like what I've been riding.
And that leads me into a question from Jan Bumpy, who wants to know the difference between British Superbikes and the Grand Prix paddock. So maybe you just mentioned there, obviously the tracks are very different, but in terms of the feeling of the paddock, maybe that's what she's after though.
Yeah, I think just to touch on the bikes are completely different. Like, obviously I jumped off 1,000 onto 765 Triumph, so they're completely different in power. But mainly it's just feel like you've got a Moto 2 bike that's really rigid with really stiff tyres in Dunlops, and then you've got a British Superbike that's on Pirellis, which is a really soft tyre and gives you a lot of feedback. So they're the two differences mainly, and obviously the power difference is a lot, but I think the main thing is the feel, how much more you can feel for a superbike and how much more it moves than the Moto 2 bike, where it's really rigid and handles really well, but also at the same time like when you hit a bump, you really notice the bump. It's a really weird sensation. When I first jumped on a Moto 2 bike, it was crazy stuff, but the paddocks are so different as well. Like BSB is really laid back, really chilled out. Then you've got your motor home, so you can go back after every session, and you can have Sarah cooking the food, so it's really good. And then in Grand Prix, you go to some tracks that are definitely weird and wonderful, to say the least. It's not all glitz and glamour at some tracks, but it's so different. It's so much. It's bad to say, but it's so much more professional because it is World Championships, and there's so much more hype around the paddock as well. When obviously you've got the likes of Marc Marquez, Rossi, and then all the crowd that are there, and it's just such a different atmosphere that you can't get anywhere else other than MotoGP.
And was it quite tough to go from essentially a big fish in a small pond and a star of the British scene to MotoGP, where, you know, obviously we really wanted to talk to his British broadcasters, but you were just having to find your feet all over again? Was that quite tough?
Yeah, definitely. I think coming from British Superbikes, like you said, I was at the top of my game there, still developing though, and being fast. And I took the risk where I could stay in BSB and potentially win the British Superbike titles several times and go to World Superbikes, or make the jump and almost take a risk with coming to World Championships in Moto 2. And I thought, well, what to do? It was a big thing for me because obviously in British Championship I was getting paid really well, and then come to Moto 2 I wasn't getting paid the first year, so that was a real difficult situation for me. But I believed in what I can do and believed in my talent. And yeah, obviously the first year didn't work out, But
Well, it was tough, wasn't it, the first year?
yeah, difficult, really difficult circumstance. At the beginning of the year, I was super struggling with the team, the language barrier, my crew chief, the tracks, just everything, like new circumstances that I had to deal with. And sorry, as you can hear, I've got a bit of a cough, a frog in my throat. Yeah, Sarah's just said. No, but yeah, it was super difficult. And then obviously I knocked myself out in Texas. That really set me back. Then I had about 8 weeks off, so I missed I missed the round, and Passini got on my bike, and that did me the world of good, because when he got on my bike, everybody was like now focused on, right, let's really see what Jake's made of, because if Passini gets on the bike and Passini goes really well, we know that Jake's useless and isn't very good. So I'm there, sat at home, thinking, oh, for God's sake, this is not what I need. But I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know that I've done a good job so far, but I need him to just back it up. And when he struggled like mad, I can't tell you how happy I was. I was like, yes, you're no better. And then apparently
I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
And he came into my team and said to them, which I thought was really nice. And then he said to me and Magello as well, he came in and said, if Jake has done the lap time that he'd done in Jerez, basically, yeah, in the test, he was like, that's fast. Like that, I can't do that time. That is ridiculous. And so that gave me confidence to know that I can do it. So it was really, really good to have that from him as well. So.
Well, I mean, Matteo Passini is obviously has been around the block a few times, and he's a lovely lad, actually.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great character. So, yeah. So, like you said, that kind of backed you up. And Sarah, what was it like dealing with Jake at that time? Because it was quite uncertain, and it is easy to sort of backtrack and go back to the British arena that you know well. And you know, we were trying to encourage you to stay and get another contract, and you know, cement the time. What was he going through at that time?
Last year, the first part of last year was hard, really difficult. You could see in his moods, they were just, it was difficult, and traveling around, being away from everything, you know, which is your normal. But honestly, like you guys, all the BT Sport, Hodgie, Gav, yourself, it like helped you, didn't it, massively? Because he had like the Brit support, which is like massive when you're out of your comfort zone and things aren't going too well. So that really, really helped, I'd say, as well, to keep him like, yep, I'm coming back, I'm going to do this. And also his team, they were really good. Like they were amazing, to supporting Jake and stuff and telling him, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. So you kind of made some like lifelong friends last year, definitely, which is out of a sort of a weird situation, quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, the biggest thing though was, the only thing that I'd say I struggled with within the team was my crew chief, where he didn't speak hardly any English.
Language barrier.
So then I'm coming in telling him problems, and he's like, what do you mean? Like, what are you even saying? Me being
I
like
had that with my Geordie lodger, exactly the same.
yeah, well, I can understand that. I struggled to listen to him just a minute ago because I couldn't understand.
Subtitles, man. Instagram needs subtitles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's laughing, but I still don't think he understood what he said.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh God.
All the time. But you landed yourself a cracking ride for this year when we finally get going. So how excited are you about the prospect of being with the team, even if we only have a few races this year?
Do you know what? It's really cool, and the team are so professional. You've only got to see what they've done in Moto3 and MotoGP. So that is such a bonus. And Siggy, the team manager, he built the team basically, my Moto2 side, around me and how he wanted me to feel at home. And basically it's an all English side with one Spanish mechanic that speaks really good English anyway. So that for me was the biggest thing. I really get on with them. They make me feel so at home, and they can just take the bants, obviously. Well, the lads know. The lads know. Lads. No, but no, it's really good. And the first round went super cool because I just wanted to finish where I ended the season last year, and to do that, and then to be halfway through the race, if not the fastest person on track for a good 5-6 laps, was really good. And to catch my teammate back and only be 2 seconds behind him at the end was positive. So I think it will be really good.
Obviously, a lot of people yesterday, when I said you were coming on, wanted to know whether MotoGP is the goal for you. MotoGP next.
Say that again, sorry. Sarah was just saying something about some comment saying, is that his mum or his girlfriend?
What's this, Sarah?
Okay.
No, I just seen a comment. Someone says, is that his mum or his girlfriend?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
What
Why
about you?
Oh, my God.
There's no need for meanness on here, and lots of people around saying it's his gorgeous wife, and indeed it is.
Oh, God, Suzi, why are we getting abuse from here?
Don't ignore. There's always one. Where's Jake?
What?
Where's Jakey? Where's
Larry.
Oh, Larry, sorry, not Jake.
Oh, Jakey, I'm here. Oh, I'm here, Suzi. I'm here.
Don't
I'm
start.
here.
Where's Larry?
Yeah, what was your question anyway? What was you saying?
My question was, a lot of people wanted to know whether MotoGP is your goal, and when do you think you'll be able to move up to MotoGP?
First of all, I need to provide the results to move up.
Yeah.
I think realistically, I want to win and move up a winner into MotoGP before even thinking about it. So yeah, look at Larry. Look, he loves it. So yeah, that's the key.
Ladder.
What do you think, mate? Hey, he was jumping up at me earlier, and I weren't giving him any attention. Who's this? Look, who's this? Say hello, hello. Hello, hello. He just likes going up on the side. That's all it is.
You know, I know you've been dipping in and out and popping onto the Breakfast Club now and again, depending on what guests we've had. So, did you see Max reveal his Yamaha 500?
Yeah. How cool was that?
Extremely cool. Then we had Steve Bull revealing his England shirt and his caps. Then we had Carl Fogarty take us into his man cave. Did you catch any of that?
Foggy loves it, don't he?
Foggy loves it. Foggy, an hour and a half with Foggy, that was. A mammoth show. And I only asked one question. It was brilliant. And yesterday, Michael Laverty, the M-Lav, took us into his attic and outside onto the karting track around the grounds. My question to you is, where are you taking us today, Jake?
I'm going to take you into the dungeon, Suzi.
I wish I sometimes never ask certain questions. The fact that it's Jamie Jordan's birthday, 50 Shades of Grey, and now we're going into Jake's dungeon. Come on, then. Yeah.
I'll take you in there, Connor. Right. Just for a minute.
I hope this isn't an actual...
No, this is my dungeon. So basically, this is where I do all my training. And yeah, I have a sauna for when I like to chill out after cycling. Oh, yeah. I'm waiting. I've got another one of these push bikes coming for Sarah's challenge. So we can both cycle together. So that's pretty cool.
Why have you got shoes in the sauna?
Because after cycling, they're really wet. So I like to put them in there to dry out.
But it smells lovely in there.
No, it actually doesn't smell. And the best thing about it, look who likes going in there.
Oh, yes, Dixon.
Larry saunas himself 20 minutes every day.
Does it keep his skin nice?
It does. It keeps him nice and white. But I've got some leathers. Obviously, last year's leathers.
Show us your leathers.
Right, I'll show you them. So they're obviously, as you know, my 2019, 2018. I did some testing in them ones, wrote them off, and then they rebuilt them for me and sent them back to me. Then these were testing set for end of 2018, but when I did a bit of testing for the Aspar team. Dynavolt levers, and then basically, yeah, it just goes on really. It's not a really fantastic amount of stuff that I have, but
you're only 24. It's a start of what is already an incredible career. I mean, you're just living your dream, really, aren't you, Jake?
I am, yeah, definitely, and I am living it, and I wouldn't change it. And I said to Sarah, this time's made us really realise how much I do love my job, because I'm still able to do what I want and get paid. So I think that's the biggest thing, and I just can't wait to go back, because I'm so bored. I'm so bored.
Have you got any trophies anywhere?
Yeah, I have got a lot.
They've got plants in them.
Yeah. All right, I'll show you Sarah's little concoction that she likes to do with my trophies. Not that I've had any for a while. So this is...
You've got plants in your trophies?
Look what she's done to them. So she's done that. Where's, I think you've done one in here. And then look at this one, look.
That's the best vase ever, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got some cool helmets, actually. I've got one of my really good friends, Ty's helmet, where he won the world title.
I love Sarah so much. I'm sorry. I just have to tell you, I love your wife so much for what she's done with your trophies. I just...
Don't tell her that. Don't tell her that. And then basically, there's not a... Oh, I'll tell you what the team gave me from last year, which was really nice. You have to mind this room, because this is a gaming room. They gave him the front of my fairing off the Moto 2 bike, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I haven't got a lot of memorabilia, but like you say, I'm only 24 and soon to be having a bike in the house, maybe.
Uh-huh. Cool. It's cool. What a cool place you've got there, with helmets everywhere and staring trophies with flowers in, and that is a proper man cave right there. Jake, Sarah, what are you going to do until the season starts? Because we could be looking at the beginning of August, from what I'm hearing.
I've got a basketball hoop, so I'm sorted.
Who's the best at shooting basketball hoops?
Me.
I'm netball.
Yeah.
Netball.
I don't understand it. I bought a basketball hoop and she plays it like netball. I'm like, it's not netball. It's like I'm dunking in it and stuff, and she's just like trying to shoot like it's netball. It's not great.
Right, here's what I want you to do now.
Oh God.
Get the ball. Go outside live. You've both got 3 shots at your hoop.
Yeah.
Let's see what works best.
Come on then, yeah. Right,
Yeah?
keep the dog in here, because
Netball.
the dog
Come on,
likes
Sarah,
to go
for the girls. No pressure.
Go this way. Look, stay there, Larry.
Every day is different on the Breakfast Club. Today, a live basketball shootout. Jake versus Sarah. Larry might win this.
Here's the ball.
Right.
I'll go first. Yeah, I'll go first.
Let me flip it. Okay, here we go.
So, as you see, Jake Dixon, NBA player, coming soon in 2021. Oh no!
He's missed.
Fail.
Oh, no!
Oh my God! That's it. You freeze up.
Sarah, you've only got to get one in.
Right.
Oh, no way.
This is
No,
the
stay
only
there,
live
stay there.
sport you've got today, people, and it's on Suzi's Breakfast Club.
Oh, loser.
Come on, Sarah. Come on, love.
No, she didn't. Oh, damn. How do you feel about this?
Go to sudden death.
Ah, you didn't get it.
Okay, it's a sudden death. Oh, this could be the longest breakfast show ever.
Sudden death. Go on, baby. You can go first. Here she goes.
I'm slightly behind on these pictures. Geordie Lodge, you're going to keep me up to date. Can you commentate, please?
Oh, she's
off the rim.
Okay.
Comes back
Go
off
on,
the
Jake.
rim.
You've got to get it in, Jake.
Come on, Jake. Do it for the lads. Smash it.
Are they going one way?
Yeah. Oh, this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can
Let's
either
go
of you
back to
actually do this?
These are rubbish.
Yes!
that was it.
Yes. Sarah's going to do one now, though.
Come on, Sarah.
Oh,
Oh,
Jake.
nah. Jake took the ball back in the house.
He's taking the ball. That's it. He's won. He's
I've won
Took
it.
the ball. Took the ball back in the
won it.
house.
I've won it.
I think technically Sarah had
Technically,
another shot there.
Sarah had another shot.
She didn't.
I'll do it later and let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry to
exactly.
all the women out there.
Post it later.
Like, it's my ball. I'm taking it back in the house.
Yeah. My ball back, you can't play. I've won now. I'm the champion.
Oh, just
Oh,
love it.
they're so energising, you guys. Thank you so much. Jake, I seem to think that you did the Get Your Kit Off challenge for 2 Wheels for Life. Is that right?
Trust you to want to know that I did the Get the Kit Off challenge.
Really?
Suzi,
Get off
I've
my
told
case.
you. I've told you, if you're going to do it in private. My wife's here.
Can you please explain to everybody what the Get Your Kit Off challenge for 2 Wheels for Life is?
Basically, what we had to do was full kit, so helmet, levers, boots, gloves, and then you have to take everything off as fast as you can and time it to basically see how quick you are.
Film it, time it, post it.
And then nominate.
Exactly. Nominate some biker friends and donate a minimum of £3 to 2 Wheels for Life. That's the challenge that today. All of you, anyone that wants to get their levers on because you can't go riding your bike, do this challenge today. It's called Get Your Kit Off, hashtag Get Your Kit Off, and it's on the 2 Wheels for Life Instagram.
Remember
where I'm
to be
heading
wearing
right
something
now.
underneath it.
Yes, please.
I
Yes.
don't want any surprises. Don't
No,
want any
with the-
sneaky surprises.
Sausage
shop.
surprise.
Or disappointments. Right, you two have been amazing. I think all the breakfast clubbers will agree with me. Everybody, post your love for Sarah and Jake now. Press the hearts, and send love to each other during this lockdown. And we hope today that we have indeed lightened your lockdown. Thanks, guys. You're brilliant. We wish you the best, Jake, obviously, when you get cracking, and Sarah with your cooking. You've been just awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for
And
having
thanks
us
for the
on.
Breakfast Club because it's a nice thing to wake up to.
Yeah, big it up. Big up. I love watching it. I
Yeah.
watch it whilst I'm cycling.
Excellent.
Yeah, by the way, you have literally delayed me by a good hour and a half for cycling. I would usually be nearly finished by now, and you've delayed me.
The privilege.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
well, I am sorry
you
about
should-
that.
you should
but
feel
I did
very,
see how rubbish
very-
you are at shooting hoops, which has made my day.
Hey, there's no need for that. Right,
Jake,
Suzi.
Sarah, lots of love. Thank you very much.
Love
See you
lot.
later.
See ya.
Ciao,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Always going to be mayhem, wasn't it? And thanks for Jake and Sarah for stepping in. It was quite late on, actually, when I rang them last night, and it was very funny. They're just a brilliant couple. And I just really hope that Jake can do well in Moto 2 and move up to MotoGP. That would be wonderful. I'm going to say goodbye and happy Friday to you now. You can join me throughout the day on the @2wheels for life Instagram page, where I will, just a quick reminder if you've popped in later, be talking to the likes live of sorry, you can't sing, Michael Laverty. That's going to be at 11 o'clock 11 o'clock your time. Franco Morbidelli, Maverick Vinales, Danilo Petrucci, and tonight Jules Ryder, Michael Laverty and I are having sundowners in a Zoom room that you are invited to bid for. There's space for 10 people. I think there's 7 places left, actually. 3 have already gone this morning. So that's Friday coming up. Tomorrow is the Geordie Lodger takeover for my birthday. I hope you've organised a fly past, Spitfire, Hurricane, and all that.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. The only things are going to be flying past are the bees, so.
Yeah, the bees are still here. I'll update you on that tomorrow. Some surprise guests tomorrow. Apparently some big stars are popping in.
Covers everything.
Covers everything.
Covers
So
everything.
we've got someone for
Food.
the world of music.
Music, food,
We've got a chef.
sports.
Have we got a chef?
Yes.
Oh, is it a male chef?
Not telling you.
Is he really famous?
He's massive.
Did he used to wear a bandana?
Yes.
Mind blown. Tomorrow, Geordie Lodger takeover day, and it's 10 o'clock. It's an hour later tomorrow, so you can have a little bit of a
And
weigh-in.
everybody's asking, will I be in the hot seat? That's a massive.
Will you be in the hot seat?
Yes. No.
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 He's going to be out the cat flap if it's rubbish. That's where he's going to be. But from the Geordie Lodger, from myself, have yourself a wonderful Friday. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Please join in, tell all your mates, because this is definitely going to be the thing to watch tomorrow morning. Some big music stars, a chef, somebody from the world of tech, motorsport.
And all the Geordie legends are going to be
Oh
here.
no! Oh, please,
Jimmy Neal
Jimmy Neal, and to deck coming up.
at the deck. Alan Shearer, Sting. So it's going to be huge.
I hope we've lightened your lockdown today, and thank you for joining in. Big kiss.